The first private moon landing is in trouble, and it looks like there isn't a solution. The company is called Astrobotic, and they were aiming to be the first private company to successfully land an uncrewed spacecraft on the moon. But there was an anomaly just a few hours into the mission. The propulsion systems were successfully activated on the lander, but then a problem occurred. To put it succinctly, basically the lander isn't able to successfully point at the sun. That's important because that's how the Peregrine lander generates power. If it can't point at the sun, it won't have the power to soft land on the moon. Astrobotic is working on the problem. They used what they called an improvised maneuver to get the spacecraft to point at the sun and charge its batteries, because troubleshooting the problem has led to very low battery levels. The good news is that it worked. They were able to charge the batteries. The bad news is that the propellant is now critically low, which means a moon landing most likely isn't going to happen. The moon is hard, space is hard. There's a reason only 4 countries, the United States, Russia, China, and India, have been able to successfully land a spacecraft on the moon. It's hard. The Peregrine lander took off at 2:18 a.m. Eastern Time from Cape Canaveral, Florida, atop the ULA's new launch vehicle, the Vulcan Centaur rocket. This was the first launch of the Vulcan Centaur rocket, and that went very smoothly. The rocket placed the Peregrine lander in a high elliptical orbit of the moon, and it's up to the lander itself to refine its orbit using its propulsion system, but it can't do that if it has propulsion system errors and no power and no propellant. The landing was scheduled for February 23rd, but it looks like that's not going to happen. This mission is part of NASA's Artemis program, which we hope will eventually return humans to the moon. Another company, Intuitive Machines, is scheduled to attempt an uncrewed moon landing in February.